welcome to the last episode of Musings podcast. Today we have a very special guest, actor turned influencer, Deesha!
Yay!
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
We're so happy to have you here.
I'm so
We
excited.
have me also. We have
Oh,
Armaan.
sorry.
That's Praveena. My name is Armaan.
I didn't even know.
No, but
Okay, last episode is already chaotic. Okay, this is Praveena. If you don't know by now, what are you doing? Go watch the other episodes. And this is
Armaan.
amazing. So we just have to introduce you first.
Right.
Yeah, that is all planned. Okay, we know you because you worked with us on a campaign that I personally love a lot. The Groove campaign. This is the
We actually
product
had
that
the
you
product.
actually acted for.
I want to do that. Groove, the only massager that will bend over backwards to make you feel good.
What we really wanted to discuss today was, I think when we were doing our pre-chats, we discovered that all of us have really cool stories about how our parents are involved in our lives, especially when we talk about the dating, sex game and all of that. What would be super interesting is if we talked about, have our parents ever caught us doing anything nasty? Like, everyone has from their
Deesha
teenage-
start this.
I don't know. Yeah, actually. Just after when I got my Grooves parcel.
We are to blame.
And Simone was like, Deesha, we want to gift you this Groove. And I'm like, yes. Yes, okay, there we go. So the parcel was, and I wasn't available, I wasn't at home, and my mom collected the parcel and she's like, what's this? I'm like, you saw the ad. Like, no, I don't.
What did your mom think of that ad? Like, does she know what the product is?
You know what she knows? She thinks it's a massager.
Well, which it is.
It is.
It is.
massager.
It is a massager.
Good
As
enough.
long as she's not using it thinking it's a massager, I think we're in.
Nobody's using it. Nobody.
I know that people use some of these massages just as like neck massages or back massages.
I do have to say, there was a pop-up event that we hosted, and there was this grandma who was there at the kiosk, and she's asking, what is this? And I was like, oh, that's a massager. You want to try it? And then I switch it on and give it to her, and she sat down and she was like holding it against her
ये तो
body.
Queen movie में हुआ है.
And she was...
Yes!
ये इलेक्ट्रिक मसाजर है जी
Bro, she
One of my
was
favorite movies.
moaning loudly. She's like, this is so nice. I should take one. I will tell my son about it. And I was like, I don't know if...
Do you guys remember the first time? Did you guys get the talk from your parents?
I gave the talk to my mother.
When? What age?
I was in 7th standard and I really wanted to tell this. I was in 7th standard, and because of this Homi Baba examination that happens in school, that's like out of syllabus, but it still happens. Okay, so you learn something that's for 9th and 10th standard, if I'm not wrong. So I was not part of that exam. I was just like, I want to read what's that, reproduction. So I read that. Then I discussed it with my friends, and then we watched how it's done.
That was the first time you watched porn essentially with your friends.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
As educational content.
Educational content. I just wanted, for my knowledge and wisdom that, this is how I was made, right?
This is where I come from.
This is where I
Origin
come
story.
from. Original story. तो मुझे मम्मी ने, मैं बचपन में बहुत पूछती थी मम्मी को कि यार बेबीज कैसे बनते हैं. मेरी मम्मी बताती थी भगवान देता है शादी के बाद आके. Very classic answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, so 7th standard. Okay, I don't even remember how I looked. I was like tiny little girl. I go home. My mommy was pregnant back then. And my mom told me, so mommy, now she has a baby boy now. I'm like, I know how it's made. I know how the babies are
I know
made
what you
now.
did.
मेरी मम्मी ना बर्तन धो रही है, मैं किचन में गई and मैं बाजू में जाके ऐसे खड़ी होके मैं मम्मी को बोली मुझे पता है बच्चे कैसे होते हैं. Congratulations to mommy. And मम्मी ने बोला कि हाँ भगवान आके देता है. मैंने बोला नहीं मम्मी, सेक्स. बस इतना ही बाकी था ड्रामा होने का कि वो बर्तन नीचे गिर जाता. But nothing happened. She just gave me that look and she's like, go and study. I'm like, that's what I did.
You know what? This was the thing. Even my parents, we never had the talk. Never. This one time we were walking by and I think the 90s is when Durex nahi, I think at the time Kama Sutra had just started doing a lot of hoardings around the city. And there used to be these really like steamy hoardings with just the Kama Sutra logo, and they would explain nothing about what it is. So I used to be like, I remember being in a car and I asked my dad, what's a condom? And they did the smart thing, which is they didn't want to talk about sex, but they also didn't want to give me wrong information because you know how kids are. And we were heading to a family gathering only. So dad's like, it is a method of controlling pregnancy. Like it's a device that helps you not have babies. And I was like, okay, cool. And then mom chimes in and she's like, but iske bare mein baat nahi karna mamu ke samne. Don't talk about this in front of the family. The closest we got to the talk was when I was leaving for college. This is one of my favorite memories.
Hostel days?
No, I mean, I was just going to college. It was about an hour and a half away from home. And my mom was like, I should probably impart some wisdom to this kid. He's going out into the world. I did high school in a very small town in a government school. So, you know, there wasn't a lot of like mingling with girls or like, I didn't have the high school dating experience really. So, mom, we're at the balcony of this building that we used to live in at the time. And we come from a very middle class, maybe low middle class family at the time, like financially. So, mom's like, beta, you're going to college now. You have to be very careful. These girls with nice boys from nice families like you, na, they're very smart. So, they'll try to trap you. You have to be very careful. Yaad rakhna, we have no problem. Bring home anyone you want. किसी को भी ले आओ, but इस घर की मान और मर्यादा का ख्याल रखना. Because she used to, it had been 10 years of watching these case serials and she was like, इस परिवार की मान मर्यादा का ख्याल रखना. I was like, what मान मर्यादा? 3 taps are leaking in the house. 70% of the chairs in the house are plastic. Which khandan, which maryada are we talking about? Like, relax. And plus, I don't know if you've seen this. Right now, I mean, we've shown pictures of me from college on this podcast before. I was like, no girls are showing us this nice engineer boys. They're also engineers in the same school.
Stop talking about yourself like this. He always does this about his past self. Yeah, he was a little bit up, but it's okay. We all go through that phase, man. It's okay. The first time my mom ever knew that I was dating someone was because Cloud was singing. And I was spending the day with my boyfriend and I was like taking cute pictures. My dad opened my laptop to do some work and then he sees that all these photos just popped up. And it's just normal pictures. Just like taking face to face, whatever. And then I had a my mom was like, we need to sit and talk. And it's me, my dad and my mom. And I'm like breathing heavy. I'm like, what are they going to say? And then they're like, who is this? What are these photos? Don't you think you have some sort of... You are a girl. Yeah, you are a girl. And I was like, imagine they saw the spicy pictures. I would have been dead. They saw basic ass pictures.
Still they had a problem.
They lost their mind. And I remember when I was... we were also in a long distance. I was leaving to another country. And we were literally... the night before I was flying, I was already feeling all type of way and it was me, my boyfriend at the time and my mom sitting in the room and I had to fly in like an hour. So I'm like sitting there like almost going to cry. And then he like sort of like just touched my hand and he was like trying to make me feel better. My mom was like, I saw that. And I was like, I just like froze for a second because you're an adult at that point.
Yeah.
And my mom, to grown ass adults, just screaming, I saw that. And then, yeah, both of us did that. We were like, and it felt like I was in school. So I've never had that conversation since then. Even though we are very chill, there was a point where she was swiping.
But she got to know you guys are dating?
Yeah, she knew at that point, everything was chill. But still like, you know, physical contact because of that initial, how they got to know about the relationship. I think that sort of stuck with her that, oh, she is, you know, grown now and she has a life of her own and I don't know about that. So she feels a little bit like she has to assert her dominance once in a while saying, I am the adult of this house. But it's funny because later she started swiping on my Tinder my Hinge profile, and she would like match with people. Is that the same kind of relationship you have with your mom?
No,
where
like
she-
I don't remember me telling my parents that I had a boyfriend in college. I think they knew because it was very clear that oh, we guys have a thing, we both. But yeah, I mean back then I was very scared of my parents.
Yeah.
I didn't tell them anything, even though like I was doing engineering in Pune and I stayed in a hostel, so there were girls around me every time. But in college, I think there were only 3 girls and 50 guys. So my mom knew that, you know, kuch to hoga hi. She used to ask me questions. Is something like, I was 16, 17 back then. She said, is something up with you and him? मम्मी प्लीज क्या है, मैं आपके पसंद के लड़के के साथ शादी करूंगी. और तब ना मैं बहुत चूना लगाती थी पेरेंट्स को कि हाँ नहीं ऐसे कुछ नहीं. बट आफ्टर अ पॉइंट she knew. I think they naturally got to know कि कुछ तो है. But
yeah, I do feel like initially, I think the 90s kids, the parents were very different when they were growing up versus how they are now.
Yeah.
And they're learning, they're trying, and all of that.
I feel that my parents right now they are not the same parents that they were back
Exactly.
then. Because now not my father. My father is still like.
Are you an older child? Yeah, because it's our responsibility in the household to have the struggle with the parents over 4 or 5 years and change their mindset.
Yeah.
Because
right.
that's how it happened in my household also. My parents were the kind, the first time I ever had the guts to ask if I can go watch just a movie with my friends was when I was 16, right? That's the first time I ever asked, can I go watch a movie with my friends? And for 6 months, my mother and I fought. 4 movies that I wanted to watch came and went by also. And at the end of the 6 months, I finally confronted her and I was like, I demand to know why. What is the reason that I cannot go watch a movie with my friends? Because her compromise was, okay, fine. 4 months in, she was like, okay, fine, get a ticket. I will also buy a ticket in the same hall. I will sit separately. You enjoy with your friends. No one will do anything, but I'll be there.
My God.
So on the 6th month, I finally confronted her. I'm like, why can I not do this? I'm 16 years old. I'm not saying I want to go to a bar or go to hookah or anything. Why can I just not go watch a movie with my friends? She's like, this is how it begins. I was like, what begins? She's like, drugs. Mother. You think your child who has never touched alcohol, cigarettes, nothing will go to a movie theater and come back with cocaine? So that's how they viewed the world.
Yeah.
The first time I told my mother, like I was in college, 2nd semester, and she was like, have you started, consuming alcohol yet? And I was like, no, and I'm genuinely not that into alcohol. So I told her, no, everyone around me drinks, but I'll have a beer every now and then. And she's like, how much do you have? I'll have a pint. What is a pint? 1 bottle of beer. And she's like, okay, fine. Next day, I start getting calls from aunties I haven't heard from in years. And they're like, beta, I know this good, alcoholic center. You can go there for de-addiction therapy. Because apparently, because she doesn't know anything about alcohol, she took 1 bottle of alcohol and went and told my mama, Armaan is having a bottle of alcohol every day. And my mama got freaked out because he knows what alcohol is. So he went and told all the family. And then aunties got freaked out that our son is addicted to alcohol. He's having a bottle of alcohol a day. And I was having 1 measly beer a week. But yeah, that's what they grew up with.
They don't understand. I think my sister got grounded because one boy texted her dear. And my mom's like, no more cell phone. Who is calling you dear? And it's just insane. But now they understand my sister.
So the first time I told my dad that I have a boyfriend, and I didn't even use the word boyfriend. I'm like, I want to marry him. So he's like, oh, it's marriage serious. I was married. And I'm a divorcee. So when I told them that I like this guy, he likes me back, I didn't use the term boyfriend. हम शादी करेंगे, of course. प्यार है तो my dad he didn't react anything. He's like, he just did that. And I told my mom to explain him because my mom knew. So I don't know what conversation they had, but for next 3 days he didn't talk to me. And my mom told me he's having a severe headache.
For 3 days.
For 3 days. So मैंने बोला just because I told him that, I'm like, shit. Then I made my boyfriend call him. and tell him that, uncle, is everything fine? So it's very funny actually what happened, even though he's my ex-husband now, but it's so funny that I always remember this incident. He called my father and he said, this was the first thing he said on phone, that Kaka is uncle in Marathi. So Kaka, don't worry, like, it's all cool. You know what my father said? If you call me uncle, how will you marry my daughter?
He wanted him to call him Papa?
No, I don't know what he wanted him to call him, but my dad said, if you call me an uncle, how will you, like, marry my
For
daughter?
any Gen Z kids watching, take notes on how much we've gone through for y'all to have the lives you have.
Yeah.
You just...
We walked so you could run.
We walked through fire. Look at the struggles.
But it's interesting because you say that you were married.
Yeah,
and you're
I was
now
married when I
divorced.
was 23 and 24, so
That is really early.
I took that decision. So, and it was COVID, so I had nothing to do. So I was like,
So then why not get married and see where that goes?
और मुझे प्यार में भरोसा था, ये था वो था, मुझे लगा जल्दी शादी करूंगी तो करियर के लिए बहुत टाइम मिलेगा आगे जाके, और मम्मी ये भी नहीं बोलेगी कि ये कपड़े पहनने पति के साथ पहन तो
Wow.
So you almost got married thinking it'll be freedom.
It wasn't anyway. That's why I'm a divorcee also right now. But yeah, it's a funny story what happened with me, and I have that experience, and I'm glad that I'm 25 and divorcee, and I'm glad that I'm not 35 and 40 and divorcee. I don't have that burden because of my age. I'm happy that it happened early, it ended early, and here I am.
But enough about marriage. I feel like we have, gotten too deep with marriage right now. I want to spice things up by talking a little bit about your post-divorce dating, because I'm sure it's completely different because the reaction from other people also will be like that, right? They're like, oh, you're divorced. Like, how is it usually handled by men of society?
I think so. My ex-boyfriend, who I was dating, like after post my separation, he played a very important role, by the way, in my life, because he told me that it's okay. Rather, there were days when I used to tell him that, dude, don't you feel awkward? We were dating, and his mom is a lawyer, and she was like, Deesha, it's okay, it's just a divorce. And they accepted me as their, son's girlfriend, and they used to make their relatives also meet me. It was all cool. That gave me confidence. I was like, they don't care if I'm a divorcee or not.
Yeah.
We broke up because we weren't great as a couple, but we are still very good friends. But he told me that, Deesha, if you make a very big deal out of it, the society will make a big deal out of it. Just don't talk about it. And it doesn't matter if you are a divorcee or not. I love you for what you are, not your past. And I was like, actually, there are wonderful guys like that who won't care about it. And after that, I went on a couple of, I won't call it like dates, but there were times when guys confessed that they liked me. I'm still not ready for a relationship, but times when guys confessed that they liked me, even though knowing my past and everything, and they were like, it's all cool, babe. Doesn't matter.
It's funny because you keep saying, even though,
Yeah.
despite my past, they did that. But I think I like the relationship the people you've been with have expressed. I don't think it's despite your past. It's just
I think it's the society, the trauma.
Yeah, it seems like that
you
is so
criticize
ingrained that
that.
even in your expectations, you're like, thoda to pushback aayega hi, and you yourself seem a little surprised that that's not there.
It's so horrible that I feel bad for myself that people have accepted me. Still, I think that this is going to affect someday somewhere. I don't know why. It's just because of
It's because of conditioning
society
and everyone believing that there are
times when my relatives tell my mom that get her married. Once she is 30, 35 and a divorcee, then it will be difficult to find a guy for her. I think that's the reason I call it that. Even though my past, and I make it dramatic.
Yeah. And I agree with your ex-boyfriend. I think you should let go of that thing where you're like, despite my past, and see yourself as this person who's been through that and pushed past it and sort of learned everything yourself. And it takes a lot of courage to do that, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think, if anything, you have more experience. And it's not,
it's part of your story, not your identity.
Yeah, not
right?
your entire story.
But
so.
last year, a few months ago actually, I attended this clown training workshop where this teacher of mine told me that, Deesha, turn your tragedy into comedy. That's what I'm doing. That's where Praju also comes from. She's a married girl from Satara, native. It's my
Praju
native.
is the character you play very often on your Instagram.
And I've written a play on that character. I'm going to perform solo soon, maybe someday.
निघालात तुम्ही बरं या लग्नाला काय हा चला मी निघते मला ते ब्युटी पार्लरला जायचंय पिंकी चल ग
And
we'll come watch Praju.
Yes. So that is the tragedy. That is the comedy I turned from my tragedies. So you know,
Yeah,
like
so
I'm
you are, I
learning.
guess,
Yes,
going
I'm
through
learning.
that journey of.
And dating experiences, I'll let you know because I recently downloaded Bumble, so I don't know how it's going to work.
Tell us a little bit about what you've got going on. Like, what are the projects you're working on?
So I did a film last year called Shamchi Ai. It's going to get released this year, by the end of this year. Then I shot last month only. I was shooting my first Hindi film called Avni.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, it's also on its way. Then I am doing another film for which I'll be traveling to Pune soon, and it's again a Marathi film. And then one more project I'll be doing in September called Ulgulan. So yeah, I'm doing films.
Hands full, yeah. Congratulations.
We're so glad you made
I
time.
Yeah.
But it's like after 10 years of doing continuous theatre, and you don't get those opportunities when you start your acting journey. I started by, I used to iron clothes when I joined theatre production. I used to hold lights, and wherever the actor goes, I used to move those lights. Then I used to be on top of that board holding lights, and the play is happening. I'm looking at the play like that. So after all these things, and after 8-9 years of auditioning theatres and everything, now I'm like getting that kind of attention and projects.
Nice.
Well, we hope to see you in the big screen soon. And we're so glad you came genuinely.
That's what
And
she
thanks
said.
for sharing, even though, these things are heavy, but you handled it pretty well. And I think it's great
I hope
that...
this episode was not boring because we only spoke about.
I don't.
No,
the one thing it wasn't was boring.
Boring, yeah.
For sure.
I really
Yeah,
appreciate the perspective of like someone being this young and going through these things and openly discussing this. It takes courage.
Yeah.
And thank you so much.
Thanks.
We want to
This
give you
was-
something, little something.
Yeah.
There you go. More MyMuse products for
MyMuse,
you.
yes.
Thanks so much for taking the time out to
Yes,
join us
before
here.
we close this out
Thank
though,
you.
I want you to say like, share, subscribe like Praju.
Okay. Oh, like Praju. Okay, what would Praju say? Because Praju is like very.
Now
orthodox.
she has a YouTube channel.
Okay. now
Let's
Praju-
imagine.
Okay, what will Praju say? In that tone? And
Yeah. Be Praju for us.
Okay. Now let me get into my Marathi drama mode. So Praju, okay. धन्यवाद मला तुम्ही बोलवलं इकडं आणि तुम्ही हे बक्षीस दिले मला लय आवडलं. आता मी जाऊन माझ्या नवऱ्यासोबत हे ओपन करणार. आणि धन्यवाद. आणि यांच्या चॅनलला लाईक करा, सबस्क्राईब करा आणि जे काय असतं ते करा.
This is better than I've ever done it.
I have no idea what you said, but I trust you.
So I said that I'm going to open this box with my husband.
Cool. We have a tradition of saying bye a certain way in this podcast. That it's
She knew! Because I watched the podcast and I think you people should also who haven't watched the episodes. They're amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deesha. Bye. Bye, guys. See you hopefully in
Next
season 2.
season is a season wrap.
Okay, what is this step?
Hey guys, like face up.
Point up.
Okay, point